Buongiorno, welcome back to my channel. It's our day today. Happy International Women's Day. And I thought that we will celebrate this special day by highlighting the work of a female perfumer, and it happens to be actually my favorite perfumer of all time, and it is none other than Marie Salamagne. Now, if you don't know, Marie Salamagne is the perfumer of Atelier des Ors, one of my favorite niche brands, and she is also the nose behind a lot of my absolute favorite fragrances of all time. So today we are going to highlight her work. She did a lot of perfumes, like I think in her database there is 183 perfumes till now, so a lot, but I am going to talk about my favorite one and also the famous perfumes she worked on. So if you want to know more about Marie Salamagne and her creations, then please keep on watching. But before we start, if you're new to my channel, hi, welcome. My name is Noura, and on this channel I mostly talk about fragrances. So if you are a fragrance lover, then please consider subscribing and also hit the notification bell so you will get notified when I upload any new video. Also follow me on Instagram, where I post some exclusive content that I don't do here on YouTube. I will highly appreciate it if by the end of this video, if you found it helpful or you enjoyed it, to give me a thumb up. That will help me a lot. And without further ado, let's start. I searched for the life of Marie Salamagne, but I was not lucky. I did not find a lot about her. The only thing that I could find is that she was born in 1977 in the UK and that she currently works at Perfumes. And she did the majority, if not all, the fragrances from Atelier des Ors. And Atelier des Ors is one of my absolute favorite niche brands, as you all know. I have here my two favorites. This is Rouge Sarai and Rose Umayyad. Now, let's start by this one, which is my favorite from the brand and one of my absolute favorite fragrances of all time. It smells heavenly. I love this fragrance so much. So this fragrance is all about guaiac wood and dates. So it has a gourmand touch, but it's mixed with this woody, smoky guaiac wood, which gives a lot of depth to this fragrance, and it's just amazing, a masterpiece in my opinion. And this is my favorite gourmands of all time. I absolutely love it. It's not a true gourmand because there is a lot of woody notes here. And the best way I can describe this fragrance is that imagine sitting by the fireplace. There is some woods, a crackling sound and warmth, and you have this smoky touch, and then you have this platter of these beautiful dried fruits and dates, and they are juicy and yummy and sticky, and it's just amazing. The combination of these two together is absolutely stunning. It makes it utterly, I don't know, mysterious, intoxicating, at the same time cozy. It's just one of the most beautiful fragrances I've ever smelled. Rouge Sarai will forever be in my collection. I absolutely love this fragrance. If you love dates, you love guaiac wood, you love something that has a little bit of a smoky touch. Actually, I would say if you love By the Fireplace from Maison Margiela, which actually also she did, this is just I would say a more sophisticated, upgraded version of that fragrance. Not that they are similar, but they have the same vibe, if that makes any sense. So Rouge Sarai is my first fragrance. My second favorite is Rose Umayyad. And this is an ode to this damask rose. It's a beautiful oriental rose. Oh my God, so beautiful. It has also oud. It's actually a rose oud combination, but definitely this is one of the best beginner friendly ouds in my opinion. Again, we have guaiac wood, so it's slightly smoky, it's slightly woody. There is sandalwood, if I'm not mistaken, also an oud. But as I said, the star of the show here is the rose, and it's a little bit of a sweet rose, not I wouldn't say jammy rose, it's just in the perfect balance. It's a little bit spicy, a little bit sweet, there is raspberry and pink pepper, and it's so beautiful. This is one of my absolute favorite rose fragrances. I absolutely love this fragrance and I highly recommend this one for rose lovers. Now, I cannot speak about Atelier des Ors without speaking about the next one, which is very hyped. I mean, this is the most hyped fragrance from this brand, and it is Loon Flee. And Loon Flee is all about vanilla and cardamom. And you all know how much I love cardamom. And it's mixed with the sweet vanilla. Artistically speaking, I find this fragrance like really beautiful. And I get the hype. But I personally don't like this fragrance very much because I get this burned rubber smell that not everybody gets. And some people get it and then they, I don't know, don't get it anymore after they test this fragrance more than once. I didn't get there yet, but objectively speaking, this is one of the best vanilla fragrances and also one of the best cardamom fragrances. I just hope I didn't get that burned rubber smell, but unfortunately I do. But if you love vanilla, you love cardamom, I highly recommend this fragrance. Now, I can go on and on about the beautiful creations she did for Atelier des Ors, but for the purpose of this video, I want to introduce you to a lot of variety. So I decided just to stick with these, like the top 3 fragrances. I would definitely recommend more from this brand. I have a buying guide. I know I promised you this buying guide a while ago, and trust me, I don't know what is happening, but with Atelier des Ors, I filmed that buying guide 5 times now. 5 times. It has been a year and a half working on this buying guide, and every time or I lose the footage or I find there is something wrong with it when I start editing, or they come out with a new creation like the last time. They came out with 2 new fragrances, Pink Me Up and Noir by Night or something like that. So I had to film yet again the buying guide, and fingers crossed this time it's going to work. I already filmed it and I already edited. I just have to like finish the last touches, let's say, with that one. So definitely stay tuned for that buying guide. So if you want to know more about Atelier des Ors, then definitely don't forget to subscribe and to hit the notification bell. Now let's move to all her other creations. She had a lot, and I was not surprised that yet another fragrance that I absolutely love, that is in my top 10 fragrances for life, she was also the nose behind it, and it is Mandarin Pacific from Aqua Liguria line from Guerlain. Now, you all know how much I adore this fragrance. I can't stop recommending this one for summer. Oh, it's just beautiful. And it says a lot that this is one of the few fragrances from the Aqua Liguria line that actually withstood the test of time. Because if you don't know, Aqua Liguria is actually done as a limited edition. So they come out with 1 or 2 fragrances every summer, and it is meant to be limited edition. So they will remain for a couple of years and then they get discontinued. Now there are only 3 or 4 that withstood the test of time and remained from the early creations. One of them is Mandarin Pacific, and for a reason. This is a stunning fragrance. I just adore it. It's so fresh and so invigorating. It's like sipping a glass of like this icy water when it's hot and humid. This is how this fragrance works on me. Now, this is one of the fragrances that you should try during summer, because if you test it like now or when it's not so hot, you'll say, yeah, okay, it's nice. You wouldn't get the effect. It's the effect that this fragrance does. Is just... I'm a freshy lover. I have a lot of fresh fragrances, but if I have to choose one, it's going to be this one. I absolutely love it. Now, as the name says, this is mandarin, it's basil, so it has an aromatic touch. But what I like about this one, that the aromatic touch doesn't overwhelm the rest of the notes, especially the mandarin. So you still get this juicy mandarin or mandarin orange till the dry down. And this is what I absolutely love about this fragrance. They came out last year with the Forte version. I'm not a big fan, honestly, of that one. It's definitely stronger, I would give it that. So it does last longer, it's more projecting, but the smell is not the same. It's just a different fragrance. Of course, not a bad fragrance, but still, the OG is the best fresh fragrance for summer, in my opinion, hands down. So, Mandarin Basilic. She actually created a few other Aqua Liguria fragrances, but they were sadly discontinued. I never tested these. It was like quite an old creation, so I never got the chance to test them. Now, let's move to this beauty. Yet another hyped fragrance that a lot of people rave about and love. This is Loubi Rouge from Christian Louboutin. Okay, I had to move because of the sun. It's going down now, so I need to finish this video quickly. So, Christian Louboutin Loubi Rouge is one of the most classy, elegant fragrances I have in my collection. It's all about iris, cardamom, and vanilla. It's a soft, light fragrance. This is class in a bottle. If you don't like iris, don't worry. The iris here is very light. It just gives this dust of light, powdery floral touch. If you want to smell expensive, this is one of these fragrances. This is my favorite from Christian Louboutin. Actually, it's the only one that I would recommend, to be honest. Just a stunning fragrance. So again, not a surprise that it was Marie Salamagne who was the nose behind it. I mean, when I started into my fragrance journey, I never looked who is the perfumer behind the fragrance. But one day I decided, why not look up all my favorite fragrances and see who is the perfumer behind them? And no surprise, it was Marie Salamagne. Actually, I discovered that the majority of my favorite perfumers are actually women. By the way, I did a similar video last year on Cecile Zarokian. So if you didn't catch that video, I will leave it linked down below and also in the eye up here if you want to know more about this amazing perfumer. So these were the fragrances that I have from Marie Salamagne. She did a lot more fragrances that are very, very hyped and very, very popular. Let's start with Maison Margiela. She did 3 fragrances for Maison Margiela. I will talk about 2 of them because the third one I was not like the biggest fan. It was a nice fragrance, but not mind-blowing. The one that took the YouTube community by storm was By the Fireplace. I mean, this fragrance was so popular that even other creators like makeup influencers and others really raved about this. Now, the name is quite fitting. This is quite a smoky, sweet, warm and cozy fragrance. It has the same vibe to me as Rouge Sarai, not similar fragrances, but it is this combination of woody, smoky and sweet that these two have in common. Now, for the longest time, I was not a fan of this fragrance, honestly. It was just too smoky. When I smelled it in the air, I liked it. But when I personally sprayed this fragrance, I got too much smoke, like smoke, smoke, smoke. I did not get this gourmand, this marshmallowy chestnut, nothing. I don't know what happened, but recently, is it my nose? Is it my skin? I don't know. I now get more of this vanilla, of this gourmandy touch. I still prefer, of course, Rouge Sarai, but now I am actually thinking about adding this one to my collection. It's just this winter, Christmas in a bottle. yeah, this is how I would say this fragrance smells to me. When I smell it, I remember these very cold winter nights. I remember Christmas. It's just this whole vibe, and it's one of the most cozy fragrances. I would also recommend this one as a candle. I actually had this one. I finished it. Beautiful scent. Beautiful, beautiful scent. I love this one, but do test this one on your skin because again, you may get more smoke than the Gourmand Touch. So yeah, definitely don't blind buy that fragrance. Next one is now on my wish list for such a long time, and it is Beach Walk. I mean, you can see I almost finished. This is the second bottle, like the second sample. And this is a very summer beach, salty marine fragrance. It's so beautiful, so beautiful. If you are into these salty vanillas, you love fragrances like Lancôme Idole Aura, then you would like this one. It's not this salty vanilla like in Paco Rabanne. It's not so, you know, very, I don't know, I don't like that fragrance. It's very sharp, very strong, just too much for me. This is more light and fresh and airy. You definitely get this like light marine touch. It's so beautiful. I love this one, and most probably you will find this one added to my collection very soon. These two for me are the best from Maison Margiela, and yeah, it was Marie Salamagne who did them. Not a surprise again. Now, she also did a lot of fragrances for Alaya. Unfortunately, that brand I've never smelled. I can't find it actually anywhere, so I don't know about these fragrances, but I think there are two that are very popular, and yeah, she also did these. She is also the nose behind one of my favorites from Dolce range, from Dolce & Gabbana. Now, I am not a fan of this range in general, but she is the nose behind one of the most popular one. No, not Garden. She is the nose behind Shine. That seems to be, unfortunately, discontinued. This is like this sweet mango. I found like she loves the note of mango. When you search a perfumer, you will get a little bit of a connection of the style. Like there is always something in common. So when she works with deep, like, you know, oriental ambery fragrances, she uses a lot of guaiac wood. She loves woody notes. And when she does more, let's say, commercial fragrances, she also likes mango. It is one of the notes in Dolce Shine and also in Paco Rabanne Fame. No, it's Fame. And also Paco Rabanne Fame. These two have this mango note. I definitely prefer Dolce Shine. I did not like Paco Rabanne Fame at all, although I have to admit it's the best from Paco Rabanne, but Paco Rabanne for me is just no. She also did a couple of fragrances for my favorite private collection, Armani Privé. Unfortunately, all of them are or limited edition or discontinued. The one that I smell that is still available is Rose Milano, and it is from Les Eaux collection. So it's this eau de toilette, fresh rose with some pear, like this sweetness, a very fresh, light, everyday kind of a rose scent. She is also the nose behind one of the most famous fragrances from Jo Malone, Mimosa and Cardamom. Now, I did smell that fragrance, but it was not for me. But if you love Mimosa, yes, definitely check that fragrance. Objectively speaking, it's a very good fragrance, just not my personal favorite one. She is also the perfumer behind Amo Ferragamo line from Salvatore Ferragamo. This is my favorite line from Salvatore Ferragamo, to be honest. And my favorite one is Perlay, which has this like this beautiful pear note. The original one, I think, had this Campari note, which also was quite nice. Now, I saved the most famous ones for last. First two are from Alien, and it's the new Alien Goddess. Now, if I have to consider Alien, and you all know I don't like Alien at all, I would say yes, I like Alien Goddess the most from that line, but it's just not for me. And both are this sweet vanilla fragrance, so I would recommend both of these fragrances for vanilla lovers who love this sweet vanilla. Now, I left the most famous perfume for last because honestly I hate that fragrance. It's one of these that do not work for me at all, but it's one of the most successful fragrances ever. And it is Black Opium from Yves Saint Laurent. Yes, I know, a lot of you love this fragrance. I personally don't like it. If I have to choose one of that line, it will be the Extreme. But yeah, Black Opium is not for me. She did all the, actually she worked with other perfumers on all the Black Opium line. And she also created a dupe, by the way, of Black Opium. And it is Sable Feuve, oh, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, from Yves Rocher. She actually created a lot of fragrances for Yves Rocher. This is one of the brands that are very, very underrated. It's kind of a drugstore brand. It's in the same line like L'Occitane and L'Herbolario here in Italy. They have actually quite nice fragrances, and she did a lot of Yves Rocher fragrances. It's one of the brands that I would recommend if you are on a budget. And that was it. These were my favorite fragrances from Marie Salamagne. I really wanted to know more about her since she is my favorite perfumer, but yeah, I couldn't find much. If you know more information about her, please tell me in the comments down below. Also tell me in the comments down below what is your favorite fragrance that Marie Salamagne created, and which perfumer should I do next? I think this will be a new tradition on my channel. For every International Women's Day, I will talk about a female perfumer. As I said, I found out that my favorite perfumers are mostly women, so it's quite fitting to do that. So tell me, which one should I do next? I was thinking about Calice Becker for next year. Yeah, tell me in the comments down below. I hope you liked this video and you found it helpful, and if you did, please give it a thumb up and consider subscribing to my channel. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell so you will get notified when I upload any new video. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you next time. Ciao.